Well, hello there, besties. Listen, I am about to use my most calming voice because this bonus episode is brought to you by the decision or the agreement that NAR just made that has put so many besties in a tizzy, and I am here to calm you down. Okay, let me stop being silly, but seriously, welcome to bonus episode number 2. Who knew we would have a bonus episode so fast? But then, when you woke up on Friday, March 15th, the headlines. Did y'all see those headlines that were saying, gone are the 6% real estate agents and da 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 da? Okay, I am not minimizing it because truly, there are changes in store for our industry, and we are going to talk about it right quick on the podcast. So if you are not as familiar with what's happening, let me give you a quick little synopsis. So there was a class action lawsuit brought against various real estate brokerages and the National Association of Realtors, in which there are sellers who came to the table and pretty much said they were forced to pay for buyer agency commissions. Okay. There was just a lot of back and forth with that. And long story short, National Association of Realtors was found guilty in October of that claim, which I know for me, for a lot of us, that was kind of a shocker. Like, I'm in Texas, where we have clearly lined out in our listing agreements exactly what the seller's commission, like where it goes towards what they pay the listing broker. But nonetheless, NAR was found guilty, and we knew that there would be some changes to our industry, right? What I don't think, like a lot of people thought that it would take years or, just an extended amount of time. We thought that we would be in litigation with different appeals, right? Thought that this would take some time before we saw how it actually impacted our industry. And lo and behold, a couple days ago, NAR came to an agreement to pay $418 million in damages. And as a part of the agreement, broker or buyer agent commission would no longer be listed on the MLS, okay, as of July of 2024. Now, as far as me recording this podcast, I believe that agreement was still not approved by a judge yet. There's been some speculation on if it is or isn't, but that's the most up-to-date information that I have. So what happened, right? Once this information came out, the Facebook groups, the internet, people are, I'm looking at it all. I'm seeing agents that are panicking. I'm seeing new agents that don't know how to move forward. I'm seeing big old team leaders gloat because they say this is going to knock the little man out of the industry. I see, it's just so much, right? It's so much. It's so many opinions. And a lot of it, honestly, is truly geared from a lot of the headlines that we see in media are clickbait. They want you to click and they want you to get all riled up. And guess what? It's going to be a brand new news story in a couple of days. So I am not here to claim that I am anybody's expert, but I definitely wanted to have just a good old real estate bestie girlfriend conversation, because if we don't, do that thing that they say in the Bible about taking every thought captive, just the sheer mention of what's happening in the media is enough to have someone become very anxious and become very overwhelmed. And besties, I was on the other side of that when I was very first licensed in real estate. It was right when the recession happened in 2007, 2008, and the media alone, listen to me and listen to me good, the media alone made me hang up my license. I was a part-time agent at the time. It made me hang up my license and put it to the side because I was so fearful of the unknown, right? And now that I am on the other side of that, got back into the business years later, I know God makes zero mistakes, and I'm so grateful for the way my story went. But I often wonder, right, if I would not have been fearful during that time, how much value I could have added to the industry if I did not let the media overtake me. So here's first things first, friend. Do not be anxious, right? The Bible tells us to be anxious for nothing. And at the end of the day, you know what? Yes, we are embarking on brand new territory. We're probably going to have to change the way that we do business in some respects, right? I'm in Texas, and Texas in our state, we are a state where my brokerage, I have to Like when I upload something for a closing or just enter into a buyer, like there is already a buyer agency agreement in place. So I'm very used to using buyer agency, but I understand that some of you, depending on where you are, that might just be foreign. I don't know if I should have somebody sign something before they start working with me and da-da-da-da. Listen, friend, take a deep breath. And let me just tell you, there are 28 states in the United States where buyer agency is a thing. So even if it's not a thing where you are, I promise you it's not impossible. It is just probably going to be a new skill that you are going to have to learn, and it is going to be okay. Okay. So that's my very first thing, y'all. I don't want you to be anxious. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I don't want you to just picture every worst case scenario, because you know what? You will attract those same things into your life. And that's not what we want to attract. Okay. But here is what I do want us to do, because the reality is that some stuff is going to change, right? If nothing else is going to change. Now, does anything say that sellers are not still going to offer commission? Or, for instance, listing agents, right? I am a listing agent. Will listing agents still go into those seller consultations and have a conversation with the seller, making suggestions and just really helping them understand what's going to be the best marketing strategies in order to get their home sold? I'm pretty sure there are, right? The media will make you think that, nobody ever is going to pay commission again. No buyer is ever going to be able to afford it. And honestly, that's just not true, right? That's not true. We cannot speak unequivocally for all mankind. So I just want us to take a deep breath and a pause and just really come to terms with the fact that, okay, this is a new way to do business and we're going to have to pivot. And might I remind you, about 4 years ago, during the pandemic, we had to pivot. Like when we couldn't do open houses, I made so much money from open houses up until the pandemic. And when I found out, like when it came out that we couldn't do open houses, we couldn't gather, I had no clue. Like I literally thought, like, what is going to happen with the economy, with the real estate business? And y'all were there. What happened? Our business went all the way up. It was the exact opposite of what we were also fearful of. So I just want you all to remember that, because that is evidence that sometimes a pivot is actually a good thing and it's not something to necessarily be feared. Okay. So whatever you need to do to mute that fear, if you need to kind of delete some Facebook groups, I have done that. Look, I had this one loan officer talking so much crap on my page. I'm like, okay, you are deleted. I don't want your energy, and I definitely don't want to ever accidentally send somebody to you. Like, do whatever you need to do to protect your peace. However, while you are protecting your peace, what we also need to do is get educated on what will happen moving forward and what is required of us legally. So I'm going to encourage each of you, like by now, everybody's brokerage should be having some sort of conversations. And to be fair, this is very new for a lot of brokers. I don't know what additional, like if we're not offering on MLS, is there going to be a different website? What additional addenda is going to be required? I don't even think that they know. But make sure that you are sticking close to whomever your broker in charge is in whatever state you are in, because they're going to have the most up-to-date information to show you how to protect yourself legally. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are moving accordingly and understand the legal ramifications of this change and making sure that we are coloring within the lines. And while we're coloring within the lines, let me tell you something. Y'all, do not be on the internet. Like I've seen people talk about, I don't care what nobody say, I'm still paying buyer's agents. Like, don't be on the internet talking about your commissions. Okay. Even if you're a listing agent, like, just use wisdom, because these are the things that got us to the place where we are now. Anything that makes it seem like that there are fixed numbers where commissions are always negotiable, anything that makes it seem like it's fixed can get you in a lot of trouble, right? And possibly can make you lose your license. So I want you all to be very, very careful on how you operate, especially in these social media streets, exactly what you are saying, because we don't ever want anything to point back to us like, we are a part of the problem. We want to be a part of the solution. And then here's the last thing I'm going to say, because this is going to be a short and sweet episode. Now more than ever, you hear the This is the time to really, really, truly be able to establish and articulate your value. And let me tell you from an agent perspective, the agents that I think are going to be most impacted by this change. Because do I think that there still will be sellers who will sign listing agreements that will be open to providing compensation for buyers agents? Yes. Do I think that there are going to be some buyers who are going to be able to pay? They're going to see your value and they're going to pay your commissions? Yes, I do. But for those agents where your sole value proposition, and I've worked with agents like this, is that I am going to rebate, right? The seller's paying this and I'm going to rebate you this and rebate you that. Your value proposition has to be greater than I'm going to pad your pockets buyers, okay? Because if that has been your business model, I do think that this will be a very difficult market to be in. But for those of you who are truly, truly value driven, right, that you should work with me, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, because I have your needs in mind. I am your advocate. I'm your educator. I'm your homegirl for life, your forever real estate bestie. I'm going to guide you through this process. I'm going to negotiate on your behalf. Like, if you are that person who are truly, truly, truly taking care of your clients, then I just see nothing but opportunity in this market. Okay. I truly do. And I'm not just saying that to say that. This is the way I have to think about it, because if we think differently, then you are going to get clambered. Okay. And now, shameless plug, now more than ever, it is the time to link arms with other people who are doing the type of deals that you want to do, who are thinking on the level that you want to be thinking. Y'all, get to the real estate bestie retreat, whatever you need to do. Like, this is a time where you need to be in collaboration with other realtors, with other people who are producing at a high level, because they're going to think differently than those people who are just nervous and think that the sky is falling. Okay. So this is not the time to like scale back. This is the time to go in and double down on learning and growing your craft so that you truly, truly have a value proposition. Okay. And then this is the last thing I'm gonna say, because this is truly like my heart. Y'all, let's pray for the underserved buyers, because here is the reality of things that I am concerned about. I am concerned about, more than this affecting real estate agents. I do think that this is going to widen the wealth gap, because, for so often a trigger for people who want to be homeowners but don't even know how to do it. I know that some of you all have been so instrumental and creative in helping your first time people get money and negotiating concessions and all of these different things. And in these price points, I am concerned that it's just going to look different. So more, and I don't have the answers. I wish I had the answers and I don't, but my natural response is just to pray and pray like, okay, God, this is what we have in front of us. And I'm not praying for my own, my own well-being, because I know God's going to provide. He's going to provide for me. He's going to provide for you. But Lord, I don't want this to be a disparity for those people who really, really need buyer representation. And I just pray that you come up with a solution. This is like one of those things where it's like, lean not to your own understanding, but like, Lord, okay, give us the wisdom, give us the discernment on how to serve this population that's already underserved. And honestly, that is where my major, major concern is. So I'm just going to encourage y'all again, bonus episode, read up on what's going on. Have conversations with your broker. Be real careful how y'all moving and talking on social media. Delete all of the negative naysayers. And y'all listen, like, have the upfront conversations, right? Have the upfront conversation. You already have, listing agreements. If you have buyer agency agreements with people, this is the time. Like, don't wait until the bottom falls out. This is the time to have these proactive conversations, because just like you are reading the headlines, your clients are reading them too. And this is the time to just have conversations with them about what that means and just to truly educate. If you need more support, reach out to your broker. We will be live coffee and conversations. I'm pretty sure this will come up for our April coffee and conversations, April 2024. But nonetheless, I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I want you to walk with your head held high. And even if we have to pivot, which we will, it will be okay. All right, bestie? All right. Love you. Talk to you soon.